The lineup is far from the biggest issue that the Braves have. Obviously, it's the pitching, but it could use some beefing up. So the question we've been asking for a long time, is it time for Cristian Pache? I believe so. If Acuña was only going to be out over the weekend, I would hesitate to do that. But he is on the 40-man roster, him being Pache, and he won't lose an option if he moves to the Major League club. So the Braves could use some help. We all know when they needed help at the beginning of the year at the catching position, they brought up Alex Jackson and William Contreras, who, by the way, performed exceptionally well in that role. Could they bring up Pache? And I know a lot of you are going to say, what about Ender Inciarte? Give him some starting time. Give him some reps. And I love Ender Inciarte, but his performance this season so far is just not up to starter level. Even in the field, his glove hasn't looked like it has in years prior, so much less his bat. He just hasn't really done much. And we've all heard about Cristian Pache's glove. In fact, earlier this year, I actually asked my buddy Kevin McAlpin to just speak on his talent during spring training and what he had seen out of Cristian Pache at the time. And this is what he had to say then.
Defensively, Cristian Pache could start in the big leagues tomorrow. I mean, he's ready. His glove, his arm. We saw him play all three outfield positions. Didn't necessarily look overly comfortable in right field. He'll be a center fielder when he gets up to the big leagues. So defensively, he could play in the show tomorrow. It's his bat that still needs a little bit of work. And remember, up until a couple of years ago, in pro ball, Cristian Pache had never hit a home run. Now, those numbers have certainly gone up. Power is coming around. He's still, filling out. I mean, losing some of that baby fat and evolving into a man. I mean, he's coming into his body. So I think that will come with time.
But will his bat let him contribute at the major league level? Let's take a peek at his stats for a minute. In 2019, through 487 at-bats, he had a .277 batting average, a .340 on-base percentage, 802 OPS, 61 RBIs, 12 homers, and 122 strikeouts. Granted, it's the minor leagues. Players don't always perform up to expectation, nor do they always have the same stats that they would in the minors. But what else is he doing, right? All he really has to do this year is to either come up to the Major League club or play his own team in Gwinnett, which, all respect to those guys playing in Gwinnett, it's not like playing another team. It just isn't. So why not give him experience in this time? The Braves could use, some excitement. We could use some excitement. The whole club could use, some excitement. If you remember last year when Austin Riley came through, how much hype was built around him because how many homers he was hitting. And by all accounts, Cristian Pache is that guy. He is the next big thing for the Braves, at least as a position player. So why not give him the time? That's just my point of view. We'll circle back around that in just a second. But in case you're wondering how I feel about Kyle Muller and Ian Anderson, if you missed it, last night the Braves played an earlier game than the actual Braves versus Marlins. They had a Gwinnett versus Gwinnett game that actually aired on Fox Sports. And it was Kyle Muller taking on Ian Anderson head-to-head. And each one of them gave up a homer. One gave up a homer to William Contreras, that would be Ian Anderson, and the other gave up a homer to Peter O'Brien. So other than that, it was strikeout after strikeout, and they really looked good. By all accounts, they really looked good. And if you missed the Braves game last night, you missed a lot of interesting comments in the post show, in the seventh inning stretch show, all of those where Brian Jordan says, I expect to see Ian Anderson next week. I'd like to see Pache this week. I feel the same way. Let these guys come in and compete. Let these guys light a fire under everyone else. Everyone on the roster is strained right now, especially the pitching. But without two key pieces in the lineup, we have to look around and find that spark plug. I believe that spark plug is Cristian Pache right now. I'm not saying he's going to replace Acuña. I'm not saying he's going to be able to put up the numbers that Ronald Acuña is able to put up. But I do think he can help fill that gap while he's gone, at least. And